Hi folks, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today I'm featuring two tanks that haven't featured on the channel before, starting off with the WZ-1201G. So this is a tier 8 Chinese premium tank destroyer. I do own this tank, I do have it, I have been playing it, I'm enjoying it, I just haven't aced it yet. But this is a game from Tonza that he sent me some time ago, but because I haven't been playing very much World of Tanks, I'm using a lot of the replays you guys have been sending in to me. So this is one of Tonza's. He aced it pretty soon after getting this tank, and I did watch this replay when he originally sent it to me, so I pretty much know what's going to happen. So the WZ-120, it's basically the Type 59. So it's another tank destroyer based on the Type 59. And yeah, completely fictional, so there's no point in going into the history. So this is basically, it plays exactly like the SU-122-44, the Tier 7 Premium, except it's a tier higher. And unlike the SU-122-44, this gets decent view range and it gets decent penetration. So 248mm of penetration, 440 damage is absolutely awesome on a tier 8 premium. It means you don't have to fire very much premium ammunition, which means you can make a lot of credits in this tank, because if you fire standard ammunition, you're doing a lot of alpha. Doing a lot of alpha damage, and you don't have to resort to premium very often. So definitely no premium needed in an all tier 8 game here on Abbey. That's where we are. So I'm going to explain, basically, because I've seen this replay, and there's a lot of typical TD gameplay here where he's just sitting back, able to penetrate the spaced armor on the front of a super pushing. Yeah, I'm just going to explain why there's been a lack of videos. I did release a video about a week ago now, or maybe slightly longer, where I was saying this is my life now. And on that video I featured a little girl called Ella, and that girl is contrary to what a lot of people thought in the comments, even though during the video itself I said niece. She's my niece, not my daughter. I have no kids, you know, no kids. I'm a confirmed bachelor. So the problem I'm having at the moment, or my life now, is my mother, their grandmother, looks after the nieces and nephews. My sister and my sister-in-law are both working, and they've gone working full-time. And that means that the house now has nieces and nephews in it. Holy cow, why doesn't my gun ever behave this way when I'm driving this tank? So cupola shots, he hasn't missed a single shot yet. He's up to 2.3k damage and the game is just getting going. Oh, beautiful. Spaced armor means nothing to this much penetration, or when you've got this much penetration, but yeah, things are getting quiet now, so I think Tonza should relocate to where maybe he can get more shots in. But as I was saying, you know, I've got an 8-year-old nephew, I've got a 6-year-old niece, and I've got a 3-year-old niece. She's just gone 3. So those 3 kids are in the house every single day now, from 8 AM in the morning until 6 PM in the evening, because their moms and dads are working. And because I'm Uncle Keith, basically they make it their life's mission to disrupt me and basically make noise and interrupt me every time I'm trying to record or trying to play or try to do anything, really, from 8 AM till 6 PM. There is rarely a quiet moment in the house. Someone is throwing a temper tantrum, someone is angry, someone's screaming, or they're playing just outside my door, or they're coming into the room because they don't understand privacy. And if they hear me talking or hear me recording, that's a signal that I'm awake and that they should come in and annoy me as quickly as possible. So I'm finding it very hard to get any work done before 6 PM, or any recording done before 6 PM, or playing any games before 6 PM. And the next issue I've run into recently is, you know, this all sounds like first world problems, but I'm just having a bit of a rant here because I feel really guilty of me putting out content. At 6, then basically the kids go home, and then it's time for dinner. And part of the deal of me living here is that I cook. So I cook, you know, more than one evening, well, multiple evenings a week. And that means at 6 PM I start cooking. And then by the time I've finished cooking and by the time we've had dinner, it's about 8 o'clock. And right then, that's the time, because the grandkids aren't around, that the house gets hoovered, vacuumed, and the clothes get laundered. So there's a washing machine to my left here, which goes off at around 8 p.m. There's a vacuuming that goes on around my room or in my room around 8 p.m. There's that's when they do all their phone calls, so the house phone is just behind me here. So, you know, it's very, very difficult to get anything done with the noise constantly. And then my parents tend to go to bed around 10 p.m. So that wasn't an issue. I was recording some videos after 10 until I realized that basically they complained that they couldn't sleep because they can hear me recording. So I was recording around, you know, from 10 till midnight for a while and doing a lot of Subnautica videos late at night, but they kind of dropped a few hints that I was keeping them awake with my recording late at night, and I could record to 3 or 4 in the morning, and then they're up at 6 a.m. looking after the grandkids again. So I can't record at night anymore. Just out of all I can, but I'm not going to record at night, or haven't been recording at night because of just respect. So yeah, it's just my time for recording is restricted now to whenever the grandkids well, my nephews and nieces, or the grandkids for everyone else in the house, are out of the house, which is basically 1 day a week, which is a Sunday, and that's usually when I try and get some gameplay or try and play some games. And then there's the problem of trying to find time to record. So at the moment, the nieces and nephews are at the swimming pool, so I've got a couple of hours of freedom, you know, just to try and get some videos done. I'm going to try and get 2 or 3 videos recorded in the 90 minutes I have left, and hopefully release those over the next couple of days. But in the meantime, you know, just first world problems. I'm sorry for the lack of content. I'm sorry for the lack of videos. Every time I think that I'm going to be okay, I'm going to be able to make some, then just crap happens. And as I say, the nephews and nieces, their moms are now working, and it's not a bad thing. One of them is working full time, and the other is self-employed, and her business is picking up, so she's spending more and more time on the road, and unfortunately the grandkids need to go somewhere just like me. So this is the nearest available place. So yeah, until I can get my own place, until I can actually move into the house I'm trying to move into, yeah, I'm just stuck. Unless you guys don't mind doorbells and private conversations and phone calls and temper tantrums. Yeah, the naughty step. I've got the stairs just behind me, on the other side of the door behind me. On the stairs, we've the thing. I don't know if it's an Irish thing or whether it's an international thing, but we've got a thing called the naughty step. And when the kids are throwing temper tantrums and screaming and crying and shouting and fighting amongst each other, they get stuck on the naughty step, where they can scream and shout until they get tired, and they sit there till they get tired and start behaving themselves. And that's literally just about 8 feet behind me, so that's about 8 feet from the microphone. So yeah, I get that all day as well, so that's one of the issues I had today. But Tonza's up to 5k damage here, and this machine is working so well. Yeah, the gun never ever behaves as well for me, so maybe it's because he's using premium consumables. Blind shot in the IS, no idea if that went in, but yeah, Tonza's been playing. He's been looking at the minimap, he's been watching where enemy tanks were, he's been relocating when targets started to dry up. IS-3 is on very, very low health now, so that means his blind shot did go in. So yeah, they've been losing. I mean, he's had to play quite defensively, but their team has been losing for most of the game. And I should point out, Tonza messaged me with this replay, and he was saying that oh, that was probably the first really bad shot he's made. I probably would have waited to get a better shot, but oh, Udez has been spotted. Yeah, he did message me. This is his first day of playing the tank, and he goes for the kill, misses. Oh dear. So super Pershing. He's still got a lot of health, but he's basically sandwiched between 2 tanks now. So turning around for the Udez. Udez is not going to be able to fire. Not going to be able to fire very well on the move. Needs to be in siege mode. So gonna swing around, take him out. The traverse speed is quite good. Super Pershing still in play. Here's another Udez. They're not platooned or anything. No, they're not. So the armor can work. As I say, it's when you're top tier, the armor is okay, as the Super Pershing's finding out. And I was wondering when the Scorpion G was going to appear. He's on low health. The Super Pershing gets another shot in. This is now looking dangerous. Tonza's on 6 kills, but he's on premium ammunition. He's run out of regular ammunition. Once again, he's sandwiched. Thankfully, the Stridswagen S1, who was defending base, takes out the Super Pershing, which means Tonza can focus on the last enemy tank, a Scorpion G. And I probably wouldn't push here. I'd wait for the Stridswagen S1 to relocate, but the S1 is not relocating because, yeah, tier 8 premium tanks. S1 needs to move across. People are clicking on the map saying, move across. Oh, he's finally moving. So they need to work together for this, but no, the S1's deciding to go on the attack. Okay, so Tonza's got no support from distance. There's no point in trying to spot the Scorpion G and risking his life. He's only got 84 health left, so if the Stridswagen S1 wants to charge in, Tonza's going to see if he can relocate and find the Scorpion G. So let's move around. So I've forgotten how this one ends up, actually. It's been a couple of months since I watched the replay. But yeah, 7k damage, not bad at all. So trying to sandwich the Scorpion. S1 hasn't found him. So this is dangerous. If the Scorpion did have the speed, he does have the speed to retreat back to spawn, to be camping base, camping spawn, but Tonza doesn't spot him. Yeah, and the S1 is just being very, very hesitant to move in as well, even though the S1 is on lots and lots of health. Looks like the S1 has decided to advance up the hill in siege mode, and he's crying for help. Okay, what's going to happen? No sign of the Scorpion. Okay, it looks like the Scorpion may have relocated. He's probably somewhere on the 1-2 lines, or maybe he's wrapped around to the 8-9 lines. But as I say, the view range on the WZ-120 is quite good for a TD. I think that's the Chinese flavor of things. Decent view range, decent penetration. But looking for the Scorpion G now. Tonza decides he's not going to push the corner. He's going to let the S1 do it. So, as I say, the danger is if the Scorpion has actually gone 1-2 lines, he may be behind. But, yeah, Tonza's not going to lose out on anything if the S1 manages to kill the Scorpion. He's on 6 kills, no chance of getting a Radley Walters. And he is, okay, that's where he is. He's above. So, TD on TD action here. Okay. Yeah, I've forgotten how this one ends. So not much to say, really. This is a TD, a type of TD I do like to play. I've actually been playing the Stridswagen S1 recently as well, but I would much rather be in the WZ-120. It's a TD that you can play aggressively, and that's the way I like to play my TDs, as you know. So it's not slow, gets up to 50 kilometers an hour. But no sign of the Scorpion G. So, don't know where the S1 is. Yeah, Tonza's just checked that area. The S1 is going around to an area Tonza has checked already. So, okay, they're saying let's cap. Okay, that's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. There's not a lot of time left, but if both of them can get into the cap circle, then they may be able to do it. We'll see. It's going to be about 1:15 by the time they both get in there. So, okay, what's going to happen? I've actually forgotten how this one ends completely. I'm actually... yeah, I'm unknown territory here. So, Tonza's saying no sixth sense because it is a new tank with a relatively new crew, probably why he's using premium consumables. So, okay, they're both in the cap. There's no time to... oh, there is. There's 1 minute 5 left, and then there's 40 seconds to take the cap, so... okay. They need to stop moving. They need to stop moving, because basically their camo rating on a TD doesn't kick in till they stop moving. Yeah, that Turkish guy in chat knows what he's doing. don't move. So the camo rating is active. 17 seconds left to cap, and 40 seconds left in the game. Where's the Scorpion G gonna pop up from? As I say, Tonza's already got his Top Gun. So it looks as if they're going to cap out. No Scorpion G coming back, and that's how the game ends. Okay, decent decision to cap. So, an ace for Tonza pretty soon after he bought the tank, just to rub my nose in it. I really, really wish I had more time to play, because after watching this replay, I want to hop into the WZ-120 again and see if we can get an ace game out of it. But I am enjoying the tank, so almost just over 7.5k damage, 6 kills, and a very, very healthy XP total. An all tier 8 game there, 1656 XP, very, very nice. He did most of his damage from a distance of more than 300 meters, but he was a TD, so not complaining too much. He damaged 10, destroyed 6, 237 assistance, 48 base cap points, and he earned a very, very healthy, even though he was supplying... Oh, he didn't get charged for consumables. He must have had some in the barracks. But yeah, very, very healthy. 137,000 credits made with the premium tank. Would have been 80,000 credits with a regular account. Not his first game of the day, but very, very nice game overall. So, Tonza, rubbing my nose in it because I haven't managed to ace the WZ-1201G yet, but it'll come, and then I'll give you my lowdown on what I think about the tank. But I have to say, my only impressions, although I haven't played too many games in it, or I only get to play it maybe once a week, is I'm enjoying it. It's a TD that can be played aggressively, so always a good thing in my book. Next up, we've got a tank that's never featured on the channel before, and that is Loza's M4-A2, driven by Lt.Boa. So Lt.Boa in this tank, I don't know, has this tank been available for sale? Did I miss this sale? Is this the EU server? Maybe you guys could let me know in the comments. Has this tank been for sale? I remember it being announced, but I don't ever remember seeing it up for sale. I usually get emails and things when, you know, a tank basically comes into the game, or a new premium tank, but it looks quite nice. Doesn't need camo from the looks of things. It seems to be quite weather worn. Some nice markings on it that looks like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what the he's into the action straight away. I don't know what the insignia is there, but it is top tier. He's a tier 6 in a tier 6 game, but there are only 3 tier 6s on either side. Takes out the Panzer 38NA, and yeah, quite a big reticule when he's on the move. But Loza's M4-A2, how does this differ from all the other Shermans in the game? Well, first of all, it's Soviet, so it's a Soviet Sherman. Lend-Lease tank, so it's the earlier, it's not the M4-A3, it's the M4-A2, so it's an earlier model Sherman, and it was driven by a Colonel Loza, who was a Soviet tank commander, battalion commander, towards the end of World War II, so this is the tank he was driving in 1944-1945. Yeah, he later he was awarded Hero of the Soviet Union, became a educator, became a lecturer at one of Russia's top military academies. So that's pretty much all I know of him, and the tank really hasn't had too many changes. I mean, it's a Sherman. Now, I did have a look at the stats, so this replay is new to me, but I had a look at the stats for this tank, and pretty much it's a Sherman. There are a couple of minor differences between this and the other Shermans in the game. The first difference is it's got a top speed of 51 kilometers an hour, and all the other Shermans are 41 kilometers an hour. So this thing is 10 kilometers an hour faster than the other Shermans in the game. So you would think that, you know, considering it's an earlier model Sherman, and, you know, I don't know why it's faster. It didn't receive a new engine, but yet for some reason it's faster. But it's not all good news, because it's not Russian bias. While it may be 10 kilometers an hour faster, it's also got the weakest engine of all the Shermans, and it's got the worst power to weight ratio of all the Shermans. So it may have the fastest top speed, but it's also got the worst acceleration, so it's going to struggle to get to that top speed. It looks as if it has about 8 degrees of gun depression. I'm not actually quite sure what the gun depression is, but Lt.Boa is unlucky with that bounce on the Matilda Black Prince. So yeah, it's pretty much exactly... Oh, beautiful snipe. Pretty much the same tank as all the other Shermans. The gun handling, gun stats, they're all identical. The armor, identical. So it's got a faster top speed, worse acceleration, same ground resistance, and the only other difference between this and the other Shermans in the game is the signal range is slightly worse on this tank, probably because it was using a Russian radio. So yeah, worse signal range and faster top speed, but worse acceleration. That's what we've got in this tank. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as the Sherman in-game. So he's just going to work here and is able to take out the RT. What was that? The LEF-H18B2 for kill number 4. So up to 1,000 damage, 256. So it looks to be a Sherman. It looks as if it's behaving like a Sherman. I think maybe this is a little bit risky because there's a Type 64 that was last spotted in enemy spawn, so he could get shot in the side here. Sherman doesn't have a lot of armor to begin with, but you know, definitely getting shot in the side is not a good thing. But looks like most of the enemy team have gone into town. They're moving up the 8-9 lines, so Lt.Boa is moving across. His team have won the 1-2 lines. And he keeps getting spotted, so there's definitely that Lux or that Type 64 around here somewhere. So he hasn't taken very much damage, but he hasn't done that much damage himself yet. As I say, he's top tier. Damage usually a little bit harder to come by because enemy tanks don't have as many hit points when you're top tier. Type 64 is exactly where he was last spotted, hasn't moved for the entire game. In the meantime, Lt.Boa is focused on the tanks that are appearing towards the south. So, yeah, this is nothing special about this gun. It's exactly the same as all the other Shermans. It's a 76mm, 128mm of penetration, 115 damage. The reload speed is quite good. Premium ammo 177. So yeah, this tank is going to struggle, as most tier 6s do, against tier 8 heavies. But yeah, some nice flanking here. It's not slow, but yeah, he did get up to his top speed there. Is able to take out, what was that, the VK-3002M. Going for shots on the move here, missing. So manages one that time, 115. Gets another one on the move. Enemy tanks gets taken out. So yeah, pretty standard game here. He went up mid-ridge, took out quite a few of the enemy tanks as flanked around when targets started to dry up in the middle. He's on 5 kills. So 3 tanks left on the enemy team. 1 RT, a Leopard, and a Type 64. So they're going to have the camo range, or camo advantage. But he's moving in, trying to find remaining enemy tanks. It looks like the tanks that won the 1-2 lines advanced into enemy spawn and got wiped out. So probably the... Oh, I was going to say probably the Leopard is still where he was last spotted in the south, but... Oh... I think it maybe could have angled his tank a little bit better, but Type 64 is taken out. So 2 quick kills, 2 light tanks taken out, 1 hit kills, and that takes Loza's M4-A2 up to 7 kills. So 1 enemy tank left. Is he going to go for the Radleys? He's looking for RT, and as you can see, the acceleration is struggling. Now, he's already at the top speed of any other Sherman in the game. This is what every other Sherman does. But, oh, he gets spotted. So RT's around here somewhere. Oh, RT with a big hit, but he's trying to escape. 1 shot, reloads quite quick, is able to take him out for kill number 8, and nice Top Gun Boa in chat. So it's a Sherman. I wouldn't call it an easy 8 because it's not an easy 8, but it's a standard M4 Sherman, and it's pretty much the same as every other M4 Sherman, with the exception of, as I say, slightly faster, well, faster top speed, but worse acceleration, and a worse signal range, and that's pretty much it. So anyway, thank you to Lt.Boa for sending that one in. So this one kind of surprised me. It was a Radley Walters, but it wasn't an ace. Maybe because he was top tier. He picked up the Radleys, Bescucci's, high caliber, automatic top gun, and only a first class for 11.7 XP. Okay, so it seems as if maybe this tank is being played quite well by quite a few people. 1691 damage, not too bad considering top tier, but kills definitely impressive at 8 kills. And his ammo, very cheap. Auto repair costs very cheap. So he made a healthy 42,000 credits with a premium account. Would have made about 26,000 credits with a regular account. So first game. I don't know if it's the first ever game, but for definitely first win of the day on a #3, left him on a very healthy 5,481. So yeah, first time the M4-A2 or Loza's M4-A2 is being featured on the channel. I'd love to know, was this tank available on the EU? Was this played on the EU server? It doesn't actually say, does it? No, it doesn't actually say. Yeah, no, doesn't say which server this was played on. So yeah, let me know. What server was this? Has this tank been available for sale, and did I miss it? Did many of you pick it up if it was available? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, I want to thank Tonza and I want to thank Lt.Boa for sending those replays in. 2 tanks that have never featured on the channel before, and I'm just going to see how many videos I can knock out today while I have some free time. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.